In the latest shooting atrocity in the United States, 2 people have been killed and 7 wounded after a gunman opens fire in a cinema in Louisiana before shooting himself. Germany is planning to boost its offensive capabilities in cyber warfare, with the internet threatening to become a potential war zone. And a Russian billionaire foots a $100 million bill to launch the biggest search for alien life yet. It is midday here in Moscow. Thanks for sharing your Friday with us on RT International. I'm Rory Souchet with your top worldwide headlines. And we start immediately in Louisiana, where a gunman has killed 2 people and injured 7 before turning the weapon on himself. The shooting occurred at a packed cinema in the city of Lafayette. Witnesses say the gunman stood up 15 minutes into the movie and opened fire. The suspect's identity has not been released, but the police have confirmed the 58-year-old white male acted alone. The gunman had a criminal history, but no recent cases. The shooting occurred just several hours after President Barack Obama said that U.S. gun control laws are his biggest frustration.
The United States of America is the one advanced nation on earth in which we do not have sufficient common sense gun safety laws. Even in the face of repeated mass killings.
Yeah, the president also said that gun violence claims many more lives than terrorism. Since 9/11, less than 100 people have been killed in terror attacks in America, while deaths from firearms measure in their tens of thousands. And according to Harvard researchers, in recent years, mass shootings have been taking place on average once every 64 days. The latest shooting is almost certain to result in renewed debate about gun control in America. But Caleb Mopan from the International Action Center says the true problem lies much deeper.
Gun control certainly isn't working. I mean, I'm talking to you from New York City, which has the strictest gun laws of any country or any section of U.S. society in the country. I mean, you can't even have a hunting rifle here without a permit. The police have the right to stop you and search you for weapons at any point. And there's still all kinds of violence that goes on in New York City. Gun control doesn't work. It's not working. There's a deeper problem. The problem isn't simply access to weapons. The problem is the way U.S. society is set up and the way U.S. society functions. You know, if the problem were only gun control, then New York City would be the most peaceful place in the world, but that's simply not the case.
And following the latest deadly mass shooting at a military base in Tennessee, people have taken up arms to protect American servicemen. Members from the activist group called Oath Keepers are standing guard at military facilities where they say soldiers are not allowed to protect themselves with firearms. And U.S. Air Force veteran Randy Reep says more arms means more protection, but also more violence.
Having an armed society somewhat puts forward the proposition that you have a reasonable society. I don't think it takes people coming forward to say that they won't shoot people without provocation, therefore they should have a gun. It sort of is the presumption that you're going to act responsibly when you have a firearm. I think a more armed society does promote more gun violence. It's just borne out that way. But at the same time, it protects against, and I think it does protect against the very thing we saw in Chattanooga. And that's the thing that our country, this culture today is having to deal with, balancing freedoms and security. It's a very delicate balance, and it's a very interesting sociological process to watch.
And we are closely following developments in the recent gun violence. This latest incident in America will bring you the latest throughout the day. For now on the program, a Russian billionaire investing $100 million into a project to find extraterrestrial life. The biggest hunt for aliens yet will span the next decade.
Come with us.
Instead of shouting, "Is anybody out there?" This will be all about listening. Scientists will look for signals from the 1 million stars closest to Earth and the 100 nearest galaxies. And with the help of the world's best telescopes, this venture claims to be 50 times more sensitive than previous endeavors. And famed cosmologist Professor Stephen Hawking has given his blessing to this project.
Somewhere in the cosmos, perhaps, intelligent life may be watching these lights of ours, aware of what they mean. Or do our lights wander a lifeless cosmos? We are alive, we are intelligent, we must know.
The Russian billionaire footing the bill, Yuri Milner, qualified as a physicist. He founded a $3 million prize for scientists involved in fundamental research. And Milner made his fortune in internet investments, including Silicon Valley projects. His parents named him after Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space. And in an exclusive interview to RT, he shared his plans for the project.
We will do more than not hiding the information and the results. We will open the raw data so that other scientists around the world, as well as amateurs and anyone who would like to be involved in this, can do the search themselves. The next 10 years hopefully will provide some clues or limitations on the possible signal. And then if we don't hear anything, it will not be conclusive that there is no one out there, so we would need to continue the experiment.
Well, there might be someone out there after all. At least that's what the latest NASA announcement is suggesting. The American Space Agency says it's discovered a planet that looks like Earth's bigger, older cousin. It's the first planet similar to ours in size found within the habitable zone of a sun, meaning the presence of water there could actually be possible. And Yuri Milner says this discovery makes his project even more viable.
It basically supports our assumption that there are many Earth-like planets in our galaxy, probably multiple billions of them. I think one of them was discovered, and we just know statistically that our galaxy is so large that there should be billions of those out there, and that gives us the confidence that the experiment is really worthwhile.